saying, give me an eating plan. It can be really, really hard to chuck the scales away. I know, I've lived it. And this sometimes causes people to lie because they don't want to follow or give up control of their eating. And that's why I like to empower people and guide them step by step into eating in a way that they're comfortable with and gradually building it, gradually working on it, boosting their confidence, boosting their self-love. Because without self-love and without that confidence, nothing really can change. And if you're listening to this because you're helping a loved one with food addiction, then be sure to not take it personally when they lie to you. Like any addiction, it's really difficult for the person to admit it themselves that they don't have any control over their food. In fact, denial is really, really common. Many people deny that they have an eating problem. And that's why, unfortunately, many people suffering with eating problems don't get the help that they need, because the ego will not allow them to admit to themselves, okay, this is a problem. So they make excuses. Excuses like, well, everyone else is doing it. I'm not harming anyone. Of course you are, because you're harming yourself. But when people say that, they mean, it doesn't matter about harming me as long as I'm not harming anyone else. And that's why self-love and self-esteem is really important. And also the lying is because there's often a fear of judgment, a fear of feeling like a failure, a fear of changing eating habits and losing their source of comfort, a fear of being beautiful sometimes. Sometimes people keep extra weight or they keep extra thin because they don't want to be a beautiful woman or a handsome man. And maybe they've been traumatized for that, or some abuse has happened, and this can keep them from wanting to be attractive, wanting to be seen. Then there's fear of criticism, and then there's fear that they may lose love from another person, or fear of upsetting or disappointing another person. I remember when I was not eating, I used to always lie to my mum about what I was eating, because she would always ask me, and I knew that if I gave her the truth, then she would be upset. So I did it because I didn't want her to be upset. And the last sign is what is common with most addictions, and that's you're unable to quit despite physical problems. So love it or hate it, the term "you are what you eat" is true in so many ways. The foods we eat have a significant and direct effect on our health. Therefore, there really is no escaping it. And let's take junk food and binge eating for a moment. In the short term, it can lead to weight gain, dry skin or oily skin, acne, bad breath, low energy, sugar crashes, poor dental health, and other common problems. And this can be shown fairly quickly. The long-term effects of over-consuming and food addiction to junk food are far more serious, and they can result in obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and some types of cancer. Alarming, isn't it? Let me not forget to say that obesity is a life-threatening condition, and bulimia and binge-eating disorder are also life-threatening illnesses. So it's worth pursuing eating disorder help no matter what your situation. It's sad that despite the many devastating consequences, millions of people around the world are stuck in the cycle of food addiction. Many people want to stop their eating patterns, know the benefits of healthy eating, and yet they are victim to this addiction. They cannot control their food behaviours. So this is why I say that information is not enough. It's not a lack of information out there on nutrition that keeps people from eating healthily. With the click of a button on the internet, we can get recipes, food guides, and nutritional information. What stops people becoming free is a lack of self-love. A lack of self-love to actually decide to get help for themselves, to get some guidance, to get some support. And I really admire you because you have some self-love in you. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be listening to this. And you also want change. Otherwise, you wouldn't be open to listening to a podcast called Emotions and Eating. And that's the first step. Realising that you deserve to be beautiful, you deserve to be healthy, that you already are beautiful, and that you can be free. If you have food addiction or an eating disorder, you can be free. It's also realising that it's not loving to be violently overeating all the time, and that you are worthy of having a healthy body. And the first step in loving yourself is admitting you have an issue and asking for help. And that's why just listening to this is a form of getting help. And if you would like to take it a step further, if you'd like to discuss in more detail about how to become free, then do reach out to me and book your free 30-minute peaceful eating session with me. You can just visit nicolabeer.com, and I'll be really happy to talk you through how you can become free, what the steps are, and at the end, only if you're interested, I can share a little bit more about how I work with people to turn their eating habits around, the different tools, the different ways, the different options to suit all kinds of budgets and all kinds of eating behaviours. And if you're taking this all in and listening and you're thinking, do I have a food addiction? You only need to ask yourself this one question. Have you repeatedly tried to alter your eating habits and behaviours but find that you can't? If you can relate to that, then it's a sign that there's something that needs to be addressed. Whether it's a food addiction or an eating disorder is the next thing to be determined. When I help people, I start working out what foods are causing them issues, what their eating patterns are, what their triggers are, and then we look at changing those patterns. Now, I've created a video on YouTube which talks about the various different treatments and help and where to start if you want to become free from eating disorders and food addiction. So if you're interested in that, then subscribe to my YouTube channel or keep checking back in the podcast links, because I'm going to post the video link when it's available. It's actually my talk that I gave at an addiction and psychiatry conference, and I talked about the number one thing that is needed to become free from eating problems. So if you're interested in that, then do check out my YouTube channel. You can subscribe now and wait for it, or you can keep checking all the different podcast links that I'm going to be sharing, because I'm going to be adding in the video there. Whatever you decide to do, please do get some help, whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else, because given the health impacts, it's really important not to wait or delay your healing. You deserve to feel happy, you deserve to feel alive, you deserve to feel in control of your eating. And whether you're a food addict, it doesn't matter in my opinion. When I got diagnosed with an eating disorder non-otherwise specified, I didn't really find it very useful. Often these labels do not help. The key thing is really learning how to turn it around. And that's what I share in that video, and that's what I share in my free 5-part audio, which you can get also from my website. So overall, the key point I want to make is, if deep in your heart you want to change your eating habits and behaviours, if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired with your eating, all you need to do is take the first step. Whether that first step is getting some more free support, whether it's with me, whether it's getting some of the other resources I have on my website and downloading them, it's important to do something. It's important time to step into action and give yourself the life you really deserve. And I really believe that, because I know what it's like. I suffered for such a long time. And of course your eating patterns are probably going to be way different to my eating patterns. And hopefully they're a lot better than I was. So thank yourself for being here. Thank yourself for giving yourself this time. And wherever you are in the world, I wish you an awesome week ahead and cannot wait for you to join me in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Emotions and Eating with Nicola Beer. To book your free eating strategy session with Nicola, get the free eating support audio or donate. If you have enjoyed the show and want to help keep the show flowing, visit www.nicolabeer.com, where you can also find out more about her new system that has helped hundreds of men and women to change their relationship with food and their body, so they experience more peace and love in their life. We wish you an amazing love-filled day ahead.